By the time you see this, I'm going to be in Thailand with the two Stooges. Well, it's going to be three Stooges, isn't it? We are riding from Chiang Mai to Phuket, so the entire length of Thailand. This is a video that is dedicated entirely to my setup. So stay tuned and let's get into it. If we start with the core of it, it's the bike. It's my Moots Route 45, which initially I bought as a sort of winter / gravel kind of come do everything bike. Handmade in Steamboat, Colorado. It has the quintessential Moots finish of the Stanley kind of color fade on the down tube and the chainstay. This bike has been upgraded, modified with an Envy Adventure fork, mostly because I wanted to get bags on the fork, and the stock Moots fork didn't actually have that. Secondly, it's also got a geometry flip chip dropout, which means that I can not only increase the rake and trail of the fork, I can also slacken the head angle. So if the bike becomes a bit unstable, which I suspect it might do when we've got all of this shit on it, then I can at least modify it when I'm out on the road. It's built with Shimano GRX 11-speed, specifically 11-speed because it has this little charging port. Rather than charging through via the rear derailleur, which the more modern 12-speed transmissions do, I can charge the bike via a power bank while I'm on the go. Good luck to anybody trying to do that when the charge port's on the rear derailleur. Anyway, 11-speed, wide ratio transmission, very, very low gears, because I is fat these days. I'm fat! I'm very aware that those two boys have been riding their bikes lots. They also weigh 20 kilos less than me. But hey ho, what can you do? Glutton for punishment. Rolling stock is Mavic All-Road Pro Carbon SLs on Panaracer Gravel King 40mm slick tyres with muck-off sealant, tubeless sealant. We are going tubeless on this trip. That's because tubeless now actually works, whereas back in 2018 when everybody was nagging at us on Project America, tubeless didn't really work. Finishing kit is taken care of by Dada. It's got a Moots titanium seat post. My favorite Celitalia SLR Boost S3 saddle, which is the endurance version, which has quite a lot. It has a bit of a gel layer to it, so it's a little bit more comfortable. And Shimano SPD pedals. I should also note that I'm using my favorite Arundel mandible cages. In particular on the down tube, we're using a side loading cage because, as you're going to see in a minute, I'm going to be putting a frame bag in here, which allows me to pull this bottle out more easily. Bottles I use are going to be the fantastic Camelback Podium insulated bottles. That's because they keep your drinks nice and cool. You can pack them full of ice and it doesn't melt quite so quickly. These were an absolute godsend when we got to the US. They've also got dust covers on them, so all the shit that gets flicked off of the road doesn't get into my mouth. So I don't end up getting dengue fever or something just from drinking water. The eagle-eyed viewers may have also noticed that there are 3 bottle cages, yet I've only got 2 bottles. The reason for that, no, that's a knife.
I'm sorry, what?
JBL speaker, goes in a bottle cage, super loud. It means that we can play, you know, like The Doors and Pink Floyd really, really loud as we're riding through the jungle. It's a bit of a pick-me-up when we're all feeling a bit shit and down and we've got someone's had a puncture or a mechanical, and we can put some music on and just all enjoy it together. So that's pretty much the bike. Just one final thing is that I've got an air tag holder on the bottom bottle cage. It means that I can sit there and flap about where the hell my bike is while I'm on the plane. It's just been rebuilt by Owen and Wilf in the workshop. Brand new transmission on it, brand new brake pads. So here's hoping that we don't have any problems. So never really intended as a featherlight build. This is really more of a workhorse, but I thought we'd weigh it without the bags. I reckon about 9 kilos, but I could be wrong. Jesus, it's exactly 10 kilos. Mind you, it's got heavy light and a computer on the front. But that is the same weight as Francis's cube that he rode across India. Wow. But it's 10 times the price. So luggage is being taken care of from our friends at Tailfin. It's a rear carrying system. I've got the aluminium one. Frankly, my bike weighs 10 kilos. Who cares about weight? In here is nothing interesting other than clothes from my mate Wesley at Standard H. Have a look for this logo. I'm going to be wearing this most of the trip. Wesley makes a load of automotive inspired clothing, really top quality, all handmade in the USA. He's based out of San Diego. Hey Wes. So this goes onto the rear of the bike, like so. Job's a good one. Has a whole load of additional straps so I can lash shit to it, and completely waterproof, roll top closure, and has a fantastic carrying capacity. Also, you got side entry zips as well. So next, we've got a frame bag. Well, before we put this on, let's have a look at what's inside. So dual-sided entry. In here, we've got a pump. So this is brand new because the last one that I bought died because the boys don't know how to use it properly. But this is like a mini track pump. So getting tyres up to a reasonable pressure is made a lot easier with this. It's dual action and pretty hard wearing. They're great. There's a torch, which with a work light on it it's also red as well for scaring off the tigers. There we go. So easier for working on things at night. When we were in Vietnam, we got stuck in the pitch black with a puncture. So don't want that to happen again. That's easy. That can also be clipped onto stuff as well. What else have we got in here? I got hand flare. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to take that on an aircraft, so let's just leave that here. What else we got? And then Leatherman, because it's got pliers and a knife and all this other kind of stuff. We've got a handy little toe peak tool, which has every bolt under the sun and also a little ratchet on it. Comes with a tie lever. I've also got extra hard tie levers, Italian Army knife, from Silka, which is a colossal rip-off, very expensive tool for absolutely no reason, but it's nice to have backup. CO2, because spare cleats, because when we were in Vietnam, Lawrence lost his cleats. Spare bacons, and the world's supply of zip ties. I don't know why, but they might come in handy. So that's what's in the frame bag. I'm looking forward to seeing how much this bike's gonna weigh. Tailfin's new handlebar bag. In here is a packable down jacket. Inside here is also a first aid kit. And thirdly, a grail. This is a water filtration system. So you basically fill that up with water, push it down, and that sends all the water through a particle, and you've got drinking water. So in the middle of nowhere, if you run out of water, and let's face it, I probably will because I'm so unfit, you've got drinking water. Nice and safe.
Safety first.
Hand sanitizer, because I've become a bit of a clean freak since COVID, as well as a piggyback charger for a light. Exposure Strata, Mark, whatever it is. The reason I go with these is because it's a road specific beam, so it throws quite a lot of light over quite a wide flat beam. You can run it at pretty low intensity and get decent burn times from it. High resistance to water ingress, and I've got a piggyback mount there for a joystick, which I forgot to bring with me today. But basically means that we're always gonna have light should we need it. I'm hoping we're not gonna spend too much time in the dark, in the jungle, in Thailand, because there are tigers. Rawr! While we're talking about this area of the bike, I've also got a Garmin Edge 1040 Solar. This thing is the absolute nut. I've been commuting like 90 minutes, 2 hours a day, and I've only had to charge it like 3 times this year. So I'm hoping, can I get across Thailand on a single charge? Maybe. But basically the whole thing is solar rechargeable. The face of it is a solar panel, and it recharges, it recharges from solar.
Now watch and marvel as I harness the mighty power of the sun.
And then I've also got GoPro Hero Black, which goes in the front like so. I am also a YouTuber now, so I have to wear a baseball cap. Thanks again to Wesley from Standard Age. Look them up. I'll put a link in the description below. Right, so in here we've got waterproof casing, because I was going to go scuba diving in Koh Tao. Folding Persols, circa 2008. They are very broken and dented and whatnot. GoPro head mount, Gore-Tex rain cape, Black Mamba gloves for getting dirty. Spare muck off sealant. What's that? Ooh! Mech hanger. Important to always travel with a mech hanger. Dive mask, carabiners. Don't really know why, just because they can be useful. And that's about it. One of the great things about these new Tailfin bags is that they have tiny little vents in them. So it makes it easier to compress everything down and make the bag super small. That's that. Couple of other neat things I'm taking out with me are custom Lake MX238 gravel shoes, Project Thailand endorsed with a little Thai flag on them. Thank you, Christian Van Asten. You'll see him in our Rouleur video from a couple of weeks ago. This is the shoe I've been using since the dawn of times. Carbon sole, bovine leather upper, double boa closure, fits like a glove, and super comfy and durable, and just something a little bit special. I'm probably going to do this for every bikepacking trip we do now. And finally, people are always asking me about watches. So for this trip, I pretty much bought this watch for this trip. I bought it a couple of years ago though. This is a Bremont Supermarine S302, handmade in Henley-on-Thames, even though it says London on the dial. The important thing about this watch is that it's a full-blown diving watch, has a unidirectional bezel on it. It does also have a caller GMT function. What that means is that I know exactly what time it is back home, so I can call my girls and have a chat with them rather than waking them up in the middle of the night. Diver function, because I was a diving instructor, I intend on doing some diving out in Thailand. It's important to have something that's completely waterproof. It's a proper, hardy, durable tool watch. I've used it for diving a lot out in the US. It's rocking on a standard H limited edition NATO strap with a secondary compass. Yes, somebody once said my watch is wearing a watch. The neat thing about having a compass is particularly useful when you're trying to navigate through cities. Obviously, when you're on a bike, you've got a digital compass via your Garmin. But when you're trying to find your way through a city that you don't know, it can be quite useful to actually have a compass, especially when you don't know where you're going. Compass, again, is completely waterproof. It's actually intended, it's made by Sunto, it's intended for underwater navigation. So not gonna have any problems with the torrential rainfall that we may or may not encounter in Thailand. So there we have it, Bremont Supermarine S302 dive watch. So I haven't got absolutely everything on this bike yet in terms of clothing and stuff like that. I think I got to put shoes on it, for instance. But it'd be interesting to see what weight of crap that I've attached to it so far. So let's give it a go. See how much. Fuck. What's the limit on this? 25 kilos. Okay, let's see if we can break the scales. Are you ready? 22 kilos, 21 and a half.
Wow.
That's not too bad. 2,000 kilometers, Chiang Mai to Phuket on a bike that's going to weigh the best part of 25 kilos. And I'm sick, and I'm fat. Great. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in Thailand. Boom!